Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the video project presentation for our Introduction to Software Engineering subject code CSC1501, which entitled Online Fundraising for Donation. We are from Group D, section number 2. We have 4 group members in our team. The first one is me, Muhammad Zarif bin Azhar. The second one is Muhammad Hafiz bin Muhammad Hatta. The third one, Muhammad Aminuddin bin Muhammad Ridwan. And lastly, Muhammad Hamzan bin Azmir. Our lecturer or supervisor for this course is Dr. Azlin binti Nordin. First of all, let me brief you the introduction for our project. The project that we are planning to build is a website of online fundraising donation. It is inspired from traditional method, but we plan to use the technology to create the new ideas of making this charity doing more convenient. In this project, we have provided all the specific details of our project, where we included the types of process model we used, all the application and activities in requirement phase, design phase, testing phase, and implementation phase. Every activity is included in this document to present our team's work ideas towards this project that we developed. The objectives of our project are to make fundraising a way to recruit a temporary and continuous volunteer base. Many organizations offer different options that match with interests and skills of potential volunteers. These project goals do not just focus on providing funds, but finding and developing relationships with donors who will continue to make financial contribution is desirable. We also want to figure out how much the organization needs to fund its basic operations and ongoing service to provide nutrition to those in need. These are some of the stakeholders which involved in our project. The main stakeholders of our project are: the first one is the system administrator, the second one is the fundraiser, and the third one, which is the donators. But there are some of the minor stakeholders involved in our project. Some of them are maintenance users and service technicians, sponsors, testers, business analysis, technology experts, system designers, and marketing experts. This is our use case diagram for our group project. The first stakeholders involved is the donator, which involved in sign up and lodging. And then the donator involved in supply fund, the second stakeholders involved are the fundraisers, which involved in supply the fundraisers and recipient information and fund distribution, while the third stakeholders involved collect requirements and lastly do the fund distribution for the fundraisers.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nudin bin Muhammad Aizwan. I am from section 2 group D. So I will present about sign up and login use case specification. So the use case name is sign up. The objective is to register donator information into the system, and the user involved is donators, and the frequency of use is only once. So there are none of for the precondition. And then for the basic flow, for the first step is the user is not logged in to the system and goes to the sign up page. And then for the systemation, the system goes to the sign up page. And then the system prompts the user to register a new account or log in if they have an account. And then for the third step is the user insert the required details, which is email and password. Then the system prompts user for registration email and password. For the fourth step is the user enters in their information, and then for the systemation, the system verifies the information. And the final step is the values for the user account information are stored in the user's account, and then the system notifies the user that the account has been created. It proceeds to the main page. And for the alternate flow, there are two steps. For the first is the user decided to cancel request, where for the systemation, at any time the user may choose to cancel the account creation. Then the processing is discontinued, the user account remains unchanged, and the user is notified that the account management request has been cancelled. And another one is the user wanted to sign up from other account, where the user can sign up through Facebook account or Google Plus account. For the extension flow, there will be the invalid information entered, where the user clicks go after entering information system asked for, and then the system displays information with appropriate message to correct invalid information, and then the user need to re-enter information. There will be two post condition, whereas the first one is success and another one is the user account was not created. For the success part, the user entered data is stored in the user account, and then confirmation is sent to the appropriate email address. And for another one is the user account was not created, where the user entered invalid data or choose to cancel the account creation request. In either case, no account will be created. There are none for includes or extension points. And then for the special requirement is the email must be existed to proceed for the registration. And there will be issues where the system administrator need to display information clearly. And for the sign-in use case, the objective is the user of the system logs in into the system, and then the user is still the same, which is donators, and the frequency of use is always. So there are one precondition, which is the user must have a registered account. And for the basics flow, the first step is that involve the systemation, where the system prompts the user for their username and password, and then the user enter their username and password. And then the systemation part, where the system validates the entered information, where making sure that the entered username and password are valid for one user account in the system, and that the required password is entered for the entered username. And then the system will display a message indicating that the user is already signed in. And then the user is signed in. For the alternate flow, there are two. And the first one is new user, where if the user does not have an account, the system will give the user the opportunity to create an account. Or another one is user forget their username or password. If the user forget his username or password, the username and password are emailed to the email address provided when the account was created. For the extended flow is exactly like sign up flow, where invalid information entered. And then for the post condition will be two. And the first one is success. The user is authenticated and the system displays all features available for the role for user is associated with as defined in their user account. Another one is user is not signed in. This is because the user repeatedly entered invalid sign-in information, and then the user has been notified of the reason why they was not signed in. the user is not authenticated and remain in the anonymous user role. There are none for includes and for station points, and for the special requirement is the account must be assisted to proceed to supply fund pages. There are no business rules, and for some issues the system admin need to display information clearly. Now we will continue to the design part of sign up use case. So there will be the header for sign up, and then for the email, password, and retype password, and then the button for go to proceed to the next page. And if they already have the account, so they have to click here where they already have account and just click login. So if they wanted to sign up with another account, which is Facebook or Google, they can click here. And this is the cancel button. Now we'll continue to the sign in design. So it's just the same like sign up pages, where the sign in header will be on the top, and they need to sign in the email and password that they already registered earlier. And there will be the button remember me and the forget password. And then the go button will still at the same place, and if they don't have account, they have to click here so that they can create a new account. And another way to sign in is through Facebook and Google, and the cancel button is still on the top of the page. And now we will continue to the testing part, where for the test case for signing up there will be two. The first one is signing up with valid email and password, and another one is signing up for invalid email and different retype password. So for the first one, where the aim of the test case is to test the user to create an account. The priority of this test case is medium, and then the module name is sign up, and then the test title is signing up with valid email and password. There are no preconditions, and for the post condition, the user will be success enter the data is stored in the user account. Confirmation is sent to the appropriate email address. And for the flow of events, for the first step is navigate to sign up page, and then they will provide their valid username and the test data for it. For example, the user is enter their email, and then they provide their valid password, which is 1234, and then when they click on go button, the expected result is user able to register. And then for the actual result, a user is navigated to main page with successful login, and the status is passed. The special requirement is only the email must be existed to proceed for the registration. And another test case is invalid email and different retype password. So the objective is to test the user to create an account with invalid email and retype password. The test priority is still medium, and the module name is sign in, and then for the test title is signing up with invalid email and different retype password. This is to test the sign up page. The technique used is equivalent partitioning and invalid partition. So there are no precondition, and the post condition, the user account was not created. The user entered invalid data or choose to cancel the account creation request. In either case, no account will be created. For the flow events, the user will navigate to sign up page, and then they provide invalid email address. For the example is they put their head of email, but there are no @ symbol and email address, but they provide a valid address, and then click on the go button. The expected result is system display error invalid email, And the actual result, user is navigated to rewrite email address, and the status is false. For second one, the user provide a valid password, which is 1234, and then they provide an invalid retype password, which is 1234A, which is not matched with the valid password. And then the system display error retype password is incorrect, and then user is navigated to retype password with correct password. So the status is false. The special requirement is only the email must be existed to proceed for the registration. So now I will give some demonstration on using a website on this prototype. So this is the design, the website, and then if the user wanted to sign up or log in, they just have to press here, and then the sign up page will appear, and they enter their email, and then their password, which is 1234, and retype password. And then so if you have already an account, the message will appear, whereas email is already taken, so you can just proceed to the login, and then the login pages will appear, and just type your email, and then the password, and go. So if the password is not the same as registered, the message of wrong email or password will appear. So the user have to retype back their password and click the go button. After the user click the login button, the user will be led to the main website and proceed to the supply fund pages. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is video presentation for assignment 4, which is prototype development. So our project is online fundraising for donation. Okay, first I will show you how to donate. First, the user has to log in or sign up. Okay. They can enter their email. For example, I use Muhammad Ali. So we type the password and we register. Then after we sign in, we can choose which category that we want to donate. So let's say I choose the first one, the education fund. Okay, now the system will ask you to enter the personal details and the contact details. So we fill in the details. I would like to donate as there are two options here, individual or business organization. So I will choose individual, for example. Then the title, then enter your full name, then choose your identification type, your identity card, and enter your ID card number. Date of birth, So now we proceed with the contact details. Country Malaysia and key in your address.
Huh? Thank you.
Okay, after you finish enter all the details, we proceed. Then the system will link you to the confirmation of personnel and the contact details. If you have anything to edit, you can press the button edit here and it will bring to the previous page. So after you edit all the details, then you can go back to the next page, and now you have to key in the amount you want to donate. For example, here I put 120. So this frequency you have to choose one time per month or per year. Okay, then you have to select type of payment, either credit card or online banking. So if you choose credit card, you have to fill in all the details: card number, card holder name, and card expiry date. Then you have to confirm some option here. And if you choose online banking, so you have to fill in the online banking form here. Okay, so after you fill in all the details, you can proceed, and the system will say thank you for your donation. That's all for our presentation today. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, my name is Muhammad Hafiz Mata. Okay, I will explain about this supply, fundraiser, and recipient information use case. Okay, this is the use case specification. Okay, the use case name is supply, fundraiser, and recipients information. The objective are to enter description and information about the fundraiser and recipients. So the user or actor that involved is fundraiser, and the frequency of this use case is sometimes. Okay. The precondition for this use case is user have to log in into the system first. Okay, then we proceed with the basic flow. Okay, step number 1, the use case starts when the user choose the supply, fundraiser, and recipient information. Then the system will prompt the user to choose type of category of fundraiser. Then after the user choose the category, then the system will prompt the user to enter the fundraiser details. And next, the fundraiser's contact details, recipient's details. After the user enter all the details, the system will display all the filled details. The system requests to confirm all the details. And last, after the user confirm, the system will store the details. Okay, next for the alternate flow. Alternate flow number 1 is here. Okay, so for alternate flow number 1, the user action, user choose type of category of fundraiser. System action is system display the type of category of the fundraiser. Then the user have to confirm the decision as which type of category of fundraiser. For alternate flow number 2, this is on basic flow step number 5 here. User request to edit the fundraiser and recipient's details. System displays fill-in form for the fundraiser and the recipient's details. System displays the type of category as the fundraiser. Okay. During this alternate flow, user can edit the details if they have some mistakes. Okay, for the exception flow, there is only one. The exception here is on the basic flow step number 3, 4 and 5. Okay. Exception flow 1, error in fill-in details. If the fill-in details is not the correct data type, the system will display out please recheck some details message. Okay, so for the post condition of this use case, system stored all the details. Number 2, system display out please recheck some details message. For the includes or extension points, special requirements, business rules and other notes, there is none. Okay, this is the screen design. So first, the system will display this. Please choose type of category as fundraiser. Then the user have to click next. Then it will bring to the next page for the fundraiser details. After the user enter all the details required, they can either go back or next. They can edit the previous page by click this back button and go next page by click next. So this is page number 3, the fundraiser contact details, contact number, address, email, and this same like the second page. After user click next, then it will bring to the recipient details and next for the details confirmation. At this page, all the filled details will be displayed and the user can choose to edit or to confirm the details. If they click edit, then they will bring to the first page again. For this use case, there is 2 test cases. Okay, test case number 1 is to verify whether the filled details entered by the user is valid or not. That is the objective or the for the description. The individual involved in the test case is the fundraiser. They have to fill in all the details required with the valid data. If the system requests for company name, then the fundraiser should enter the company name, not numbers or symbols. Okay, so the module name is fundraiser details. Test title, verify fill in data with valid data type. Okay. The precondition is all the details have to be filled in first. The post condition, system will display out success message. So the flow of event is navigate the fundraiser details page, provide valid company organization name, for example INN Global, provide valid person in charge name, for example Ahmad. Click on next button, then user should be able to go next page. Okay, so this is pass. The status is pass. There is no special requirements. Okay, for the test case number 2, it's for invalid data type. Okay. The precondition is same. All the details have to be filled first. System will display out please recheck some detail message. That is the post conditions. So the flow of event is first we will navigate the fundraiser detail page, then provide a valid company organization name. For example, the name is IN Global. Then person in charge name. Then the user input numbers. So when the user click on next button, the system will display error. Please recheck some details. There is no special requirements also. So this is our prototype, online fundraising for donation. Okay. So supply fundraiser and recipient details. When the user click this, then it will bring to the page. Welcome, this page is to provide category and information about the recipient and the fundraiser. Then the user has to click proceed to continue. Okay, then please choose type of category as fundraiser. There is three options: company, organization, or individual. For example, I choose company here and click next button to go next page. Okay, then the system will ask the user to input the fundraiser details. Please fill in all details. So if you choose company, then you have to fill in your company name. So person interest name, is conducted the fundraising. Then the IC number, the religion, and the races. After they fill all the details, click the next page. Then you will bring to the fundraiser contact details. So they have to input the contact number, address, and email. Okay, so this is the recipient details. For this page, the system will ask the user to enter the recipient's details. Okay. So the first one is the recipient name. For example, the organization, so the Alam Warga recipient contact number, address, and the description about the recipient. After fill in all the details, then click next. Or to edit the previous page, they can click back. So it will bring to the previous page. Okay, if you confirm, then click next. Okay, next. Then the system will display all the details that you have entered just now. Fundraiser details, fundraiser contact details here, and recipient details here. So then, this page it will ask for the confirmation from the user. If you want to edit the details, you can click edit. If you click edit, then it will bring you to the first page again. Here. Okay, so if you want to proceed again, just click next, next, next. Okay, if you have entered the correct details, so you have confirmed, then you click confirm here. Okay, then it will display that we have received all the details. Thank you. Please check your email for the confirmation from our site after 5 days over. That's all for this use case.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hafzan bin Azmi and I will present use case specification about online fundraising for donation. Okay, actors, goals, and use case briefs. It will include fundraiser, task level goal. Fundraiser collects information from the recipients. The priority is very high. The briefing is about fundraiser collects information from the recipients to store data requirements in the systems. Okay, this is our use case diagram. I'm in charge of collect requirement, which is system administrator will handle it. And this is my use case specification. Use case name, collect requirements. The objective is to collect requirement of recipients. And our user is fundraiser. Okay, this is the basic flow for collecting requirement. The user will add requirements needed by the recipients, and this system action will prompt the admin to add requirements in food and drink section or things section or money section. User select the required options. The system goes to the selective section. User enters the requirements information. System verifies information. The data and information for requirement are stored in the system. Alternate flow. Step 1. User cancels request. At any time, user may choose to cancel the requirements creation. The processing is discontinued. The system remains unchanged, and the system will not display any new requirement for fundraiser. The session flow. Invalid information enter. User clicks submit after entering information. System asks for. The system display information with appropriate message to correct invalid information, and the user re-enters information. The post condition is if it's a success, user enter data is stored in the system. The information is displayed at the main page of the system. The requirement was not created. System administrator chose to cancel the creation of requirements. In either case, no collected requirements will be displayed. And our special requirements, system administrator must be logged into the system to proceed for the collected requirements. Other notes issue, system administrator need to get the right and true information from the needy. Okay, now this is our page design for collected requirements. We have donations. Your contribution can help those in need. Your donation will be channeled to areas like food and drinks or things needed. Here, user can select any fund to edit the information. Like we have a money fund, food and drinks fund, and things fund. And if the user select any of these options, it will continue to this page, which is the description for food and drinks fund. And if he select the things fund, then it will change to things fund. And the amount of RM, the user can put any amount of that he wants to donate, of minimum of RM 10 for one time, minimum of RM 30 for recurring. Frequency, we have one time, maybe he wants to donate once a month or once a week. Then after the user is finished, then he can submit, and the information will be stored in the system. Okay, now is my testing for first project, which is I do the work for collected requirement testing. Okay, test case number 1, collected requirement from recipients. This test case is performed to verify whether the field detail entered by the user is valid or not, and the description is the individual involved in the test case is the fundraiser. They have to fill in all the details required with a valid data. If the system requests for amount of money, then the fundraiser should enter numbers, not alphabetical or other symbols. This is my test case description. The test priority is high. Module name, collected requirement. Test title, collected requirement from the recipients. Description, test the collected requirement page. Technique use, equivalent partition, valid partition. Okay. Precondition, all the details have to be filled in first. Post condition, system will display out information have been stored message. Okay, and now this is my flow of events. It's similar in this user specification. The user will add requirements needed by the recipients. The system prompts the admin to add requirements in foods and drinks section or things section or money section. User select the required options. The system goes to the selective section. User enters requirement information. System verifies information. the data and information for requirement are stored in the system. Okay, now this is our assertion flow. Assertion number 1, error in fill in the amount, only number is valid. The system loads to the previous page and the system pops out, please recheck some detailed message. Okay. Okay, now continue to my testing. Step 1, navigate to collect the requirement page. Okay, next, step 2, choose option fund to add information. User should be able to go to the next page after they have made the selection. After that, step number 3, user enters the requirement information. Example, amount of RM100. And then finally, step 4, click submit button after finish fill the information. System will display the information has been stored, and the status will pass. And there is non-special requirements. Okay, for the test case number 2, this test case is for invalid data type. This individual involved in the test case is the fundraiser. User have to fill the requirements collected with valid data. If the system requests for amount of money, then the fundraiser should enter numbers, not alphabetical or other symbols. Okay, the flow of events. Step 1, navigate to collect the requirement page. And step number 2, provide invalid information. Like if you enter alphabetical like ABCD, then it will be invalid information. Then you have to start over again. And there is non-special requirements. Okay, this is our online fundraising for donation system. And this is our website template. And let's move on to my collect requirements section. Okay, in this page, the user can select the option that have been provided, which is food and risk fund, things fund, or money fund. You can either select between these three, and if you want to add information about food and drinks fund, you have to select at the picture, and it will continue to this page, which is you have to put the information, the amount of how many do you want for the donator to donate. And if you have finished entered in the amount of money, amount of information that needed, then you have to put a submit button, and you have to click a submit button, and the information have been stored. Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Zarif bin Azhar, and I want to brief you about the last use case specification of our project, which is fund distribution. The first part is use case specification. The actors involved in this use case specification is the fundraiser. The fundraiser will key in the information, and in this use case, he or she will recheck all the information given to the system. In this use case, the fundraiser have to use the same system for information checking before distributing the fund to the recipient. The objective in this use case specification is to do information confirmation before distributing the funds to the recipient. the precondition of this use case specification is the collection of funds by the donator using the SIM system. The flow involved in this use case specification. For the basic flow, for the first step, the use case starts when the confirmation screen is pop out for the user to check and confirm the fund and recipient's information. And the system will prompt the user to confirm and recheck all the details given for the funds and all the information for the recipients. Then, the user will confirm all the details and the system will store all the data and the saved information for the fund distribution later. This basic flow involves alternate flow, which is the first page, which the user will choose the type of category of recipients, which is personal or organizations. There will be no exception flow for this use case specification. The system will store all the details and, if passed, the system will display "Thank you, the fund is now distributed" to the recipient's message. There is no includes or extension points, special requirements, business rules, and assumptions. Next is the design of this use case specification, the fund distribution design. On the first page, the user have the option to choose between the personal or the organization of the recipients. And the user will press next. The system will bring the user to the next page, which show all the details given by the recipients. They will be also rechecking the total fund given by the donator to the corresponding recipient. If passed, the system will show this type of message, which is, "Your fund right now is in the process. Thank you so much." For testing this type of use case specification, there is no critical issues about this use case specification, as there is no invalid type of testing for this use case, because this is the rechecking of the information. Thus, all the button will go through the pass. The first one, the page will navigate to fundraiser distribution page, and then they will choose a valid type of recipients, which is only optional. There is no invalid type of test. The next one, the user will click the next button, and automatically user should be able to go to the next page, and then they will recheck all the information of the recipients. Again, there is no invalid test for these use case specifications. This is the prototype of this use case specification. The first page will bring the user to the option between the type of recipients. The first one, which is personal, or the recipient of organization. After they click one of these options, they will click next. Will bring you to the second page, which will show you all the recipient's details, such the recipient name, recipient contact number, recipient address, and the total funds for the recipients. All the information will be in the gray box, as the recipient details will be collected at the earlier user specification, which is collecting the information from the recipients. After the user rechecking all the recipient details in this page, they will just click Next to confirm that all the recipient's details are true. The button Next will bring the user to the last page of this project, which bring you the message, your fund right now is in the process. Thank you so much. That's all from us. Thank you so much.